What's up, everybody? It's me again. Thanks for joining me. I'm Mirika Mayo Cornelius, and I'm an author, blogger, and vlogger. You can catch me at marikacornelius.com for any and all things pertaining to me and my books, yada yada. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below the video and hit the bell if you want to get any and every video that I put up when I put it up. So, what I'm going to be talking about today is something that I talked about to someone this week, and you know I bring questions when I can. So I talked about this with someone this week because someone asked me the question, so I had to answer. And it is about why I never sold or sell the rights to my books. And I might as well go ahead and say why my husband doesn't sell the rights to his books either. Well, I'm just going to start off with first, our belief is that when you own it, you own it, and it's best to own it. And so he's a script writer. He's a script writer and an author, and I'm an author. He already learned about the ins and outs of the industry back in college. This is something he's always wanted to do, and this was a natural gift that I had, but I didn't know as much about the business aspect of it until I met him. And just so happened that we do the same thing. So the Lord works in mysterious ways. But so we just believe that ownership is crucial when it comes to your rights. And if you do want to sell your rights to, there's nothing wrong with selling rights to your books. I mean, if you want to sell it, that's fine, but it's just our preference to keep it. We own a small press. It's a Kieran press. So we have like 50 something books under that press. So that's what we want to do, and want to keep that like that. But number two, the contracts, I personally don't like the contracts. The contracts, I guess I should say that I have been approached before to give up the rights to my books. And for those who don't understand, when an author writes a book, all the rights belong to her until she decides to sell it. And you can sell your rights in different ways. You can sell the rights to the book and not the characters. You can sell the rights, if you write a script, you can sell the movie rights and not the book rights. So there are different type of contracts that people can throw at you. And if you aren't familiar, or if you don't have a lawyer that can tell you in layman's terms exactly what everything means and what you will be getting in return, then you really shouldn't deal with it. I mean, you probably won't understand all the ins and the outs of it. So, but for me, the contracts just don't make sense. And this is why I say the contracts don't make sense. Advances are something authors get. A lot. Some advances are in the millions. Some are just $1,000. Some are just $100. Some are just $500. It all depends on you, number one, your fan base, and what type of books you wrote, and how in demand what you wrote is at the time. Okay, sometimes someone may offer you money for the rights to your books, and you may never see it come to light. Especially that happens with scripts a lot. I think it's called optioning a script or something like that. But the contracts, let me get into the contracts of it all. Let's say, and I'm going to try to put this as easily as I can for new authors and people who just don't understand why they call us self-published authors or independent presses don't sell the rights to the books, because it seems like they will profit more if they sold the rights to the books. It's not like that at all. There are many self-published and independent presses that make loads more money than would someone who sold their rights. And this is why. I'm going to try to make this simple. Okay, I own all the rights to my books. And let's say, I'm going to say Karen. Karen doesn't. Okay? If we're both at a book festival and Karen does not own the rights to her books, every single book she sells or signs at that book festival, she only gets possibly 10%, 20 max. I mean, I'm sorry, 10 cent. Did I say percent? 10 cent. 10 cents. That's it. Maybe 20. If she's lucky, 50 cents. It all depends on the contract she signed. Some may sign contracts where they get $1. But I mean, it's a really small amount of money per book, and her book costs, let's say, $15. That's a normal price for a paperback. More if it's a hardback, okay? And you know, every single time, like her line can be all the way to the door, and it's gonna take her lots of sales and a lot of signing to make bank. Lots of it when you only get 10 cents per book. And the publisher gets the rest. For me, even though her line may be all the way through the door and around the corner, my independent press, I have a line. Might not be around the building, but I have a line. Every time she signs a book, she gets 10 cents. I should say sell a book, because she might be charging for her signature, okay? So that's her 10-cent royalty. For me, every time I sell my book, because I don't have a middleman, I don't have anybody pushing my book for me, I don't have to pay them. The people that come to my table, I get the flat 15. And if I want to sell it for more, if I have some extra merchandise on the table that they would like accessories to go with the book, and they want some of that, they can get that too. And all of that comes to me. And that is in the basic form of why I've never sold the rights to my books. Like I said, I've been approached to. But my answer was always no. I never even tried it. Now, for those who don't understand advances, they're like, well, what if they give you a great advance? What if they give you a great advance? That's cool. I mean, if the advance was great, hey, I'll take it. But it would have to be super delicious. Because here's the thing about an advance. An advance, you have to pay back before you can start getting royalty checks. So say, for instance, someone comes to an author, a self-published author, and says, you know what, I will offer you $500,000 for this book. I want this book. I can sell this book. I can market this book for you. It's going to do great. Okay? Many authors, if they don't know, will take it. I've known some authors to take $5,000 advances because they're like, oh, great, here. But what you're giving up is a lot, because you can't tell the future. So, and here's what I'm saying. You have to pay that $5,000 back. And it's not like they're going to come to you and say, here, I need my money. I need you to bring me my money. You owe this money this month. No. When they buy the rights, you have no more rights over the book. You can't tell them anything, like nothing. Okay, you can't tell. They can redo everything, and they can try to market your book and sell your book. If they think they can push it, they'll push it. Okay, they want to make money too, but what if it doesn't push like they thought? What if it doesn't sell like they thought? Well, you still have to give them that money back. So while they're selling, let's say for years, and if you still hadn't made that bank, if you still hadn't made enough royalties or sold enough books to where they've earned their $5,000 back, then you don't start getting your royalty checks. Problem with that is, how are you going to know? How are you actually going to know if you sold enough books to where you can start getting you are supposed to start getting your royalty checks? You have to trust them to tell you, correct? So, and a lot of people have gotten stuck like that because they're like, I know I've sold enough books, but I'm not getting any royalty checks. There are some people who have sold their script rights to someone, and their movie ended up on Netflix, and they still hadn't gotten a penny, a dime. Okay, so it's very iffy. You have to trust who you're going into business with. They have to be legitimate, and the contract has to be right. It has to be right. So never ever sign a contract without that. So because that advance is like you're giving away your book for free, because you really aren't it's not your money. When someone says they're loaning you something, it means you're giving it back. So even though they fronted you money, but if you have to pay them back, then you just gave your book away for free. That's how my brain works. And so it's just the contracts just aren't meant to benefit the author a lot of times. Now, if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, we're going to give you $1 million. I was at I forgot what state I was in, but there was an author, and I wish I knew his name, because he was really honest. He sold a lot of books, and he signed a contract with someone, and he really told his honest to goodness story, and he was a little upset because his book didn't sell like it was supposed to sell, and he had a limited amount of time to pay them back the money. He said he was still paying them back. He actually tried to buy his book back, and they wouldn't give it back to him. Like, you owe me this money. He got caught up in something major, and he was really upset. I really do wish, it was such a long time ago, I really do wish I even had it on tape, but back then we didn't have smartphones. It's really tricky, and I know lots of authors who have gotten taken, their rights taken, and they really have no control over their book, and they try to push their book, and it doesn't sell, and they can't do anything about it. They don't have any control over it whatsoever. They might have a great idea, but whenever they sell a book, the publisher gets the money. They get 10 cents. Of course, it may be more. I mean, it varies, but I'm saying 10 cents because literally it's change. So that's why I've never sold the rights to my book, because it just doesn't make monetary business sense to me. Now, there is one book that I've considered selling, but I'm not going to mention that one. There was one book that I considered selling, but no. I believe that when you own your rights, I think you're in the best position that you're in, that you could ever be in. So that's the answer to that question. And for any other authors out here, new authors that don't understand that literary market or literary game, I'm sure there are countless stories. There might even be a Facebook group talking about how people got swindled or whatever by selling their rights. And there's this big thing now about, people selling their story rights to make ebooks, and that's crazy. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this out here for anybody, because I'm not trying to use anybody. You don't have to sell your rights to publish your ebook. It's best, it's good. Look, if you just want an audience to be handed to you, that's great. There are some publishing companies who or small presses that have an audience already, and you just want to go grab the money real fast. But at the end of the day, I think that you can do it. I think you can do it on your own. It takes diligence, it takes patience, it takes time, it takes action every day to sell books, but eventually you'll get there. And don't be in it for the money. You have to love it, because sometimes the money doesn't come that week. And but when the money comes, save the money, invest the money, grow the money, because you never know when markets shift. When it comes to, I'm multi-genre, so I'm kind of scattered. If the market shifts from what people want, because it used to be that people read romance all the time, and I have romance. I don't like writing romance, really. That's my least favorite. But if the market shifts away from romance like it has, and then they go straight urban or go straight horror, then as a multi-genre author, I'm already there. But there's some people who strictly write a certain genre, or category of books. If you don't know what genre is, category of books like horror or historical. So if there's a market shift after you've made your money, go ahead and invest your money so that it can start building capital for you in the event that the market shifts and you're like, oh gosh, how am I going to sell my books? But I don't know how I got on that subject, but but yeah, but that's the answer to the question about why my husband and I, really me, I don't sell. And my husband, even if I wanted to sell the rights to my book, he would probably be like, let's talk about this for a minute, because he knows what's up with that literary market and the script writing and all that stuff. I want to learn how to write scripts too. I can't write a good script. I tried it, and he's like, why you write great books, you can't write scripts? I'm like, I can't do that, because with a script you can't have all this description and stuff, and I'm a writer, so I'm a novelist, I suppose, and I'm just used to doing the book thing. But anyway, I'm rambling, but that's the answer to that question, why I do not sell the rights to my books. That's not saying I will never. Oh, and for anybody wanting to know if my books are in bookstores, as a self-publisher or a small press that we are, or independent publisher, I can get my books in bookstores. It's really easy to get your books in the bookstores now. It's not like yesteryear, and our books were in the bookstores when we first started, and there were no ebooks, and it was really hard. You had to pay the distributor like half your money just to get them in the bookstores, and we took our books out of the bookstores because it wasn't worth it when we could go on the road and market our books and get the books to our readers, or they could order them online from us. And that's what they would do. They would order them online straight from us, and we can take good examples like from Rest in Peace Prince, who did the same thing, but it was with music. Okay, so he wanted all his royalties to him. He didn't feel like paying everybody to do all this, so he was like, order my stuff online. So that's an option for anybody, but I went all off in circles, but you get my point. That's why I'm not selling the rights to my books. So I'm getting ready to go now, so ta-ta. I don't have a movie review, but I am watching this. That's why I put it on there. Family Reunion, I am watching that, and I have to finish taking my hair out. You see this? It's not all taken out. I have to take all this out. I have something tomorrow I have to go to. The back isn't taken out. I just took out the front. But I have something to go to tomorrow. In order to keep my business open, I have to go to this one of my businesses open. I have to go to this little thing. So I'm going, and it's going to be early in the morning, and I don't want to look like I'm comfortable. Even though I'm very comfortable, I want to look like I did something to my hair. All right, take care, you guys.